Captain Veltar's forearms gestured frantically at the massive viewport as alarms blared throughout the Nexus Station's command center. Beyond the reinforced transparasteel, the Kethmori invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of metallic locusts, their bioships pulsing with malevolent energy. 73 capital ships and counting, reported Lieutenant Zix, her insectoid compound eyes reflecting the tactical displays. ETA to orbital bombardment, 18 minutes. The station commander's crystalline face darkened to a deep crimson, a sure sign of desperation among the Altarian species. 300,000 beings from 47 different worlds called Nexus Station home, and they were about to become cosmic dust unless someone could activate the ancient vessel docked in Bay 47. "What's the status on the Whisper of Tomorrow?" Veltar demanded. Chief Engineer Moxall, a blob-like Jelanian, quivered with frustration. "The ship remains completely unresponsive, sir. We've tried every compatibility protocol, every encryption key, every neural interface we possess. The vessel's systems acknowledge our presence but refuse all commands." The Whisper of Tomorrow had been discovered 3 months ago, drifting in the Tau Epsilon Nebula. It was clearly of ancient human origin, but unlike any Terran design in the galactic databases, the ship's hull bore intricate patterns that seemed to shift and flow when observed directly, and its technology was so advanced that even the most sophisticated scans could barely penetrate its outer layers. What they did know was that it was potentially the most powerful vessel ever discovered. Initial passive scans suggested weapon systems that could theoretically destroy entire fleets, shields that could withstand a stellar nova, and an FTL drive that might traverse galactic distances in hours rather than months. But it might as well have been a museum piece for all the good it did them now. "Sir," interrupted Communications Officer Tralek, "we're receiving a response to our general distress beacon. A human freighter is requesting permission to dock." Veltar's mandibles clicked in annoyance. "We don't have time for refugees. Tell them to." "Actually, sir," Tralek's voice carried a note of curiosity. "The pilot specifically mentioned the Whisper of Tomorrow. She says she might be able to help." Maya Rodriguez had been hauling cargo between the Outer Rim colonies for 15 years. Her battered freighter, the Persistent, serving as both home and livelihood. She was used to being the only human in most spaceports, humanity being one of the newer species to join the galactic community. But she'd never seen anything quite like the controlled chaos aboard Nexus Station. "You're telling me this ship will only respond to humans?" she asked, following Captain Veltar through the station's corridors as emergency lights bathed everything in crimson. "We believe so," the Altarian replied, his long stride forcing Maya to jog to keep up. "Every other species has attempted interface. The ship's AI, if it can be called that, acknowledges them, but refuses to activate any systems." They entered Bay 47, and Maya stopped dead in her tracks. The Whisper of Tomorrow was beautiful in a way that made her chest ache. Its hull seemed to sing with barely contained energy, and the patterns etched into its surface moved like living calligraphy. More importantly, something about it felt familiar, like recognizing a half-remembered song from childhood. "Has anyone tried asking it nicely?" Maya asked, half joking. Veltar's expression suggested he wasn't in the mood for humor. "Captain Rodriguez, we have 11 minutes before the Kethmori fleet begins bombardment. If you cannot activate this vessel—" "I'll try," Maya said, approaching the ship's access port. The moment her hand touched the hull, the patterns beneath her palm flared with warm golden light. The airlock cycled open with a soft whisper, hence the name, Maya realized. The interior was unlike any human ship she'd ever seen, yet somehow felt more familiar than her own freighter. The corridors curved organically, and the walls displayed star charts that updated in real time. Soft light followed her footsteps, and she could swear she heard something like music at the edge of her perception. The bridge was a sphere of crystalline displays and flowing control surfaces. The pilot's chair sat at the center, elegant and welcoming. Maya approached it slowly, running her fingers along its surface. "Hello," she said softly. "I'm Maya. I could really use your help." The moment she settled into the chair, the ship came alive. Displays blazed to life, showing impossible amounts of data. Maya could see the Kethmori fleet, the terrified population of Nexus Station, the quantum signatures of every ship in the system. But more than that, she could feel the ship's personality. Ancient beyond measure, lonely from eons of waiting, and filled with a deep, protective love for the small, curious species that had built it so long ago. "Welcome home," a voice whispered in her mind, not words, but pure understanding. "I have been waiting." Images flashed through Maya's consciousness. Earth, centuries ago, when humanity was taking its first tentative steps toward the stars. A secret project, hidden from government oversight, where Earth's greatest minds had created not just a ship, but a guardian. A vessel that would watch over humanity's descendants, waiting for the day they might need it. "The Kethmori," Maya said aloud, and immediately the ship's tactical systems engaged. Through the vessel's sensors, she could perceive the bioships with perfect clarity. She could see their weapons charging, their formation patterns, their inevitable targeting solutions. But she could also see their weaknesses, biological signatures that could be disrupted, neural networks that could be overwhelmed, queen ships whose destruction would cripple entire squadrons. Maya didn't pilot the ship so much as dance with it. The whisper of tomorrow responded to her thoughts, her intentions, her very heartbeat. It launched from Bay 47 like a comet of golden fire, accelerating past the laws of physics as mere suggestions. The Kethmori fleet barely had time to register the incoming vessel before their world changed forever. The whisper of tomorrow didn't just fight, it conducted a symphony of destruction. Its weapons fired with surgical precision, targeting command nodes and disabling entire ships without unnecessary casualties. Its shields deflected return fire like a force of nature, and its movements through space were poetry written in trajectories and velocities. In less than 7 minutes, the 73-ship invasion fleet was reduced to drifting hulks and fleeing survivors. Maya sat back in the pilot's chair, feeling the ship's satisfaction like a warm embrace. Around Nexus Station, 300,000 beings were safe, and humanity had proven once again that sometimes the smallest species could carry the largest responsibilities. "Thank you," she whispered to the ship. "Thank you," it replied, "for coming home."